Could you please briefly introduce yourself and your company?
Well, I'm Aleksandra Zawada-Haughian and my company is Cloud9 Knitwear. And that's my passion. With knitwear, the possibilities are endless. You can do anything, beginning from choosing your yarns, your colors, quality of your yarns, and then you go into the shape, the stitches, and you finish with the garments. So it's a long process, it's quite complicated, but the effect is worth it.
Fantastic. What has inspired you to start up your own company? What was the biggest motivation for that?
Well, I was always making things, and I was working quite a few years in the industry, but it wasn't creative enough for me. And because, as I mentioned, it's my passion. I love making things, and if I could just make things, that would be it. But it's everybody wants to make a living, and business is the answer. When then I sort of took the step and trying to do it.
Fantastic. What was the biggest challenge to start, or the biggest challenge you're facing right now, whatever you prefer to talk about?
Well, as I said, I'm a maker. Marketing, selling, it's a great difficulty for me.
Different animal, isn't it?
Yes, I think you have to have different personal makeup. There are people which are social creatures where it's easy for them to deal with people, sell things. I mean, what saves me, I think, is my passion for the knitwear. I can talk about it forever and never be bored, and I think that is quite infectious.
It is. But if you would need to give an advice for women who are thinking to start their own independent entrepreneurial career, but as of now they don't still have enough courage to do the first painful step, what would that be? What would you recommend?
Well, one thing is, if you have a passion, don't give up on it. Take your time, things take time. Don't give up on it, you have to be long enough to see some effects. Another thing, I think, in the meantime, get as much experience and connection as you can. To know your industry inside out. You have your eyes and ears open, because you never know who you meet, where you meet, and talk to people and exchange the ideas, basically network. I'm not very good at that, but I know how important it is, because for me as a maker, it's easy to lock myself and just make things, but if I don't go out to the people, it's pointless, because I don't make things for myself, I make it for other people, and you have to have the exchange
and the feedback.
Yes, that's why this type of events are great. I mean, they're difficult, because you have to prepare, there is this sort of stress barrier I have, that I'm not as social person as I wish to be, but you definitely get your value out of it.
Maybe the last question, I know from our discussion before we had at your stand that you had a child, and congrats for that, but how is that also to have your business combined with the child in the family? Is it
very frustrating? Because on one side, business is like your own baby. But then as a mother, you think you biologically switch to all your needs of your kids. And kids are funny. They may be good kids and they be busy playing themselves, but the minute you start to concentrating, they're straight on your laps. At least my daughter is. So she wants all the attention, and she doesn't like to share that with my other babies, which are my close. So just keep going. And what advice I get from my mother, from other women, like all the women in my family was always working on one or the other occasion. After kids and having kids, just give yourself time and don't expect. My biggest frustration is I was very ambitious. I thought I would be back at work when my daughter was 9 months old. Over 2 years later, and this is my first event, and I'm quite unstable, sort of thinking one hand, what's my daughter doing, and another, well, I have all the people to answer the question for.
Absolutely.
So, but keep going. If you have the passion long enough, then it will come. That's I try to follow it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much and best
My
of success
pleasure
in your
and all the
operation.
best. Thank you very much.